Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. Well guys, today I wanted to talk to you about trusting your own inner guidance. Now I know that I have done podcasts about this before, but when I went to meditate today and I asked the universe, what do the people most need to hear about? This is what I heard. Trust your own inner guidance. Trust yourself. Stop doubting that you don't know what to do. Now, I have seen a lot of things in my own life lately where I feel this inner knowing. I just know something is going to happen and I don't know why I know it, I just know it. And it's hard to explain. But if I go to get guidance from other people, if I start to doubt that and I go, you know what, I'm not sure if this is what I should be doing or not. And I go to other people, I get mixed advice. I get people who are like, yeah, you should definitely do that. No, I don't know that you should do that. And I'm only more confused than ever before, right? I'm going to try to get this good advice and I leave going, I don't know what to do even more now because this is what I thought I should do. And then I went and got different advice and I got different answers and I was not expecting that. This is why I tell you that you should rely on your own wisdom, your own inner GPS, your own inner guidance when you're trying to make decisions. Because there are two kinds of people out there. Well, more than that, but let me just break this down for you. Sometimes there are people who think they have your best interest at heart and they want to protect you. So they want you to do what's safe. Does that make sense? So let me give you an example. When I started my podcast and when I started my business, I had a friend who was like, why are you doing that? And I was trying to explain, well, I think this is my purpose and this is what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm supposed to be helping people. And she just kind of gave me a sketchy look and she was like, well, you're a teacher. Like, you need to focus on that. You just need to do that. Don't worry about this other stuff. Like, you're too busy with that and you have your own kids and I think that's too much. I think you're too busy. I don't think you should do that. I don't think that's a good idea. And I remember I was like deflated at the time, when I heard her say like, don't do that. But I was like, but I know I'm supposed to be doing that. Like, I know that. Like, all signs are pointing that this is what I should be doing. And she's like, oh no, I don't know why you would be doing that. And it was kind of like, well, who's going to listen to you anyway? So it was basically the ego that I already had in my head telling me, don't do that. Nobody's going to listen to you. You're not going to make a difference. But my inner gut, my intuition was saying, you've got to do this. You have to do this. And I don't know how to explain, how to tell you that I knew I had to, and that a lot of people were probably going to think I'm crazy. And the first time that I had to post something on my Facebook page, like, hey, check out my page, guys, I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to think I'm insane in the same way. So her advice really kind of set me back a minute. I had to think, I'm like, well, is she right? Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should focus on this other thing. Yet I couldn't stop or ignore the gnawing feeling that I knew this is what I was supposed to be doing. And the more people I would go and talk to about it, the more confused I got. Because some people were like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And other people are like, why? What are you doing? Why would you do that? And like I said, I couldn't explain why I knew I had to do it. I just knew I did. So I listened to my inner gut and I did not listen to the friends who were like, I don't know about that. And it was a slow building process, so it could have been very easy for me to be discouraged. But every week is like the universe sent someone else who would be like, Thank you so much for doing this. Your podcasts help. And it was enough to like keep me going, like, okay, that person's why I'm supposed to be doing that. Okay, this person's why I'm supposed to be doing that. And I've always said, if I help even one person, it's worth it. And I feel the same way about teaching too. If I reach one child, it's worth it. So that was my inspiration. Okay, keep going, you've got this. And it could have been very easy for me to just take everyone else's advice or to just not do it because I thought, oh, you know what, it's just going to be too much. This is too difficult. I have too much on my plate. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and tell you like my life's easy. It's hard sometimes. And there are times when I don't have a podcast for you because there just weren't enough hours in the day. And things happen. Like last week. I recorded the podcast. I tried to upload this podcast like 50 times and it just would not load. And I was like, you know what? This is just, the universe doesn't want this to be here on this day. I don't know why. And I will tell you that weird things happen. I know there are a lot of people who listen to my podcast, and when I don't have one, I'll get messages like, what happened today? We missed you. And I love that because it makes me feel good to know that, I'm missed. But I think when things like that happen sometimes, I find it interesting because I've had this happen before, and I'm sure this is what happened last week. When I don't have a live podcast, people go back and they listen to the old ones that I have. And I've had people go, you know what, since there wasn't a new one, I went back and I listened to this one again, and I really needed to hear that. And the universe just has a weird way of working everything out so that people get what they need exactly when they need it. So I never, ever doubt that things are happening for a reason. And I always go with it and I trust it. And in the same way, when I know I'm being given guidance in a certain direction, I don't ignore that. And it could be so easy to want to go and talk to your friends. It's easy to understand why people want to go get reassurance from somebody else. But as I always say, someone else, when they give you advice, they don't have to live with the consequences of that advice. So like if my friend said, hey, you know what, don't do the podcast. That's really dumb. Like, don't do it. That's stupid. You're not going to help anybody and you don't have time and you need to focus on your teaching and you need to focus on this and that and just don't do it. Well, if I would have listened to that, first of all, I would not have been fulfilling my purpose in life, which is what I came here to do. So I would be going against my soul contract. And I also wouldn't have helped anyone. Maybe my students, but nobody else. So I'm glad that I chose to stick to what I knew, which is that inner voice that was saying, you got to do this. You got to do it. And we all have that inner voice and that inner guidance, and you know what to do. But what happens so often is we get other people's input, whether it's asked for or not, because there are some people who just throw their input in there. And what I was going to say was, I was talking about how there were two kinds of people. Well, the first kind thinks they're looking out for your best interest. They think they know what's best for you. And those are usually family and friends. They're like, I love you. Don't do this. They don't always give the best advice because they are more concerned about your own safety and welfare. And sometimes we can't play it safe. Sometimes we have to take risks in life because if we don't throw ourselves out there, then we're just going to live a life of just ordinary and not ever experience what we came here to experience. And you think about the people who took risks to invent new things. I mean, their people around them probably thought they were insane. Like the people who wanted to fly. Like, what? What do you, people can't fly. And look what became of that. So I absolutely believe that those people have our best intentions at heart. I just don't think that that's always the best advice. And then you have people who just are kind of unhappy with their own lives and they don't want to see you succeed. And they'll never say that to your face. And those can be friends and family too. They're kind of jealous. And so if you have an idea and you want to do this and they're like, what if they're successful? Like there's some people around you who don't want you to succeed. They want you to stay just below them Because if you succeed, that makes them uncomfortable. They don't like it. It's jealousy. But it's not even just jealousy. Sometimes I really think that there are some people who are truly uncomfortable with someone getting everything they want and being happy. And it's hard to imagine that, but I'm sure we all know people like that. And what you have to really do is get into the habit of not going to every person and telling your business. Sometimes we have to keep things to ourselves, And the reason I say that, again, when I went to write a book, I got this feeling, this thought that I should start writing. I was like, you should just really start writing. So I did it, and I didn't know if it was going to be a book or if it was just going to be like me writing and getting my feelings out. I had no idea. And you should have seen like the looks on people's faces when I said, I'm writing a book. It's like, what? You're writing a book? About what? Like, thanks, guys. Thanks for believing in me and thinking that I could write a book. But, people they're shocked by what you're doing. Like, what? What do you mean? How are you doing all of these things? And I get that a lot. Like, how are you doing all of this? I'm doing it all, and it's flowing easily to me because I'm doing what I know I've been sent here to do. Like, I know I'm doing the work that I'm supposed to be doing, and the universe is helping co-create with me. It doesn't mean that when I first sent my book out, do you think I had rejections? Of course I did. Because my book was such a unique, it's self-help, but it's also spirituality. So people were like, we don't know where to put this. Like, we don't really do books like that. This is not really a genre that we have. So yeah, at first, and I thought, okay, well, I may just have to self-publish, which I thought, well, I can do, because the universe is saying, you've got to get this out there. But then I was like, well, maybe I just need to start going to the publishers who specialize in certain areas. So that's what I did. And I found my publisher, and she was like, she said, well, I'm not really accepting any books, but I'll look at it. And, her logo is a blue butterfly, which we know is symbolic for me because it's the logo that I use. And also I believe that butterflies are a symbol of beautiful transformation. And I'm like, that's perfect. And the name of the publishing company was Mother Butterfly. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go with this. And, she came back to me and said, I have to publish this. So it was incredible. And things were just lining up. And things do line up when you're on the right track. But so often, many of us get derailed because we don't listen to ourselves. And when you don't listen to yourself and you don't take the advice that you need and you start listening to everyone else, you're going to be off course because you're going to be listening to the wrong people. Like I said, our friends and family have very good intentions for us, but you know what to do. You wouldn't be feeling this deep, burning feeling, this desire, this, what's in your heart, if God didn't put it there. The universe, the divine, your higher power, whatever you want to call it. You're feeling that for a reason, because the universe is leading you there. And when you let everyone else mingle and mix in and give their own 2 cents and their own advice, you're going to be miserable, because if you take their advice and it's the wrong advice, it goes against what you're supposed to do, you are going to be miserable. I mean, think about it. There are people who do whatever their family tells them because they feel like they have to live up to this certain standard and expectation. And they'll do everything from marry the wrong person because the one that they really loved got away because their family didn't like them and they didn't think they were good enough for them or whatever. Or they took the wrong job. They went into the wrong career because their family told them that this is what they should be doing. And I tell you this not to be like, if you did that, what are you thinking? No, it's just, I don't want to see anyone living a life they're not totally in love with. But that's what's going to happen if you stop listening to your inner guidance and you start listening to everyone else. You're going to start doing things you don't really want to do because you think it's what's best for you, because other people have told you that it's what's best for you. And you've got to start listening to yourself. You're the one who knows what's best for you. No one else does. They're not living your life. They don't have to spend every day looking at the partner that you chose and being with them. They don't have to spend every day going to a job that you might deep down now hate because it wasn't what you wanted. With my own kids, it's so easy to want to say, hey, you shouldn't do that. You should do this. But I know that I have to let them make their own choices. I have to guide those choices lovingly and say, you got to look at all of the consequences of this. But in the end, you have to make that decision. It's your life. It's not my life. It's your life. And I can make all of the choices for you and do everything, like with my daughter. She wanted to go away to Colorado. And I was not really for that. But if that was what she really, really wanted, then I was going to support that. And we talked. And the fact that it was so far away, I'm like, look, if you have a rough weekend and you need to come home, there's not a guarantee you can because it's so far. You'd have to drive 12 hours. It's not really, logistically, it's just not feasible for you to come home every other weekend if you need it. We can't afford for you to fly home every weekend. You've got to think about that. And she did. And then she said, well, I still want to go away. I said, well, that's great. I'm not stopping you from doing that. And I understand that because I wish that I had gotten to do that when I was her age. I didn't get to go away to college. My mom was like, you're going here? And that's end of the story. I didn't get a choice. And I understand it because it was being paid for. I was fortunate enough that I didn't have to pay for my undergraduate degree because I got scholarships and grants. So I was lucky enough in that aspect. And this college happened to be affordable. So with her, I was like, well, and we had that whole conversation. I was like, look, definitely go away to school, but we need to do comparisons because you don't want to leave school in debt. You don't want to have $50,000 worth of student loans when you leave school because you're not going to be able to pay that back, when you get a job. Let's just be realistic, but we'll do it, And then she found a school. It's 3 hours away and it's going to pretty much be paid for her because of scholarships and grants. And that's with housing and everything. And I was like, that's amazing. And she's happy about it and already meeting people and they're getting prospective roommates already. And we're going to go visit it. And they have the programs she wants. So it's not my job to tell her what to do. My job is to lovingly guide her and help her to see all of the aspects of her choices, but not to say, don't do that. Because ultimately, that's her decision. And I've been very proud at how she's used her own intuition to look at, because that wasn't even a college on my radar that she chose. But when we went and looked at it, it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's great. It's actually a really great choice. So you've got to start listening to your own inner voice, okay? It's there. And if you're feeling like you're not getting guidance, I'm going to tell you what's going on is, number one, you're probably too busy. You're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, and you're not taking time to sit in the stillness to get your own guidance. If I want to know what's going on in a certain situation, I take 10 minutes, I sit down, I close my eyes, I start breathing, I clear my energy by imagining that golden light coming down through me. When I first used to do this, I had to do meditations to really get into this. I don't now because I can connect immediately. But when I first started, I had to do guided meditations to get connected to my inner voice, my higher self. And you may have to do that. That's perfectly fine. The more you practice this, the better you get at it. So if you need some kind of guided meditations, I'm pretty sure that I have them on this podcast. You can go back and look for them. I definitely have them in my program, my Love Your Life program, which is still on sale right now for the entire month of February. It's only $33. It's normally $88. I know I have meditations in there. And I am getting ready I'm working on a program now that's called well, I don't want to give the name because I don't know if it's going to be called that, but basically it's a program on building self-love and self-esteem and self-worth. And it's about loving yourself more. And I'm going to have those kinds of meditations in there where you can connect easily to your higher self to get guidance. So that you can look for that to be coming out pretty soon. I'm working on it right now, about halfway through it. So just get into a space where you can be quiet and listen and be still. And you can ask for signs and you can ask for specific signs. Our team is willing to help us and to show us and to give us signs. But then you also have to pay attention. You know, we ask for signs sometimes and we're like, I didn't see anything. It's like, were you looking? Were you paying attention? Because when I was asking about writing a book, you know, I didn't know. I'm like, I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And if you could just give me a sign. And like a spider just like landed. I'm like, okay, that was weird. It just like fell out of nowhere. Which I think it's hilarious that the universe used spiders because I really don't like spiders because I got bit by one and I have a scar on my forehead because of a spider bite. But I was like, all right, this has got to mean something. So I go to the spirit animal and I look up what is a spider spirit animal, and it started talking about writing and how you need to be writing. And I thought, okay, there's my sign. And then in the middle of watching a YouTube video, someone came on and like, do you need permission to write a book? Well, here's your permission. I was like, okay, all right, God, that's my sign. Thank you. And I always thank the universe for their guidance and signs too. I always say thank you every time. Gratitude is the number one way to call in more of that good stuff. It's just, who doesn't like to hear thank you and showing your appreciation that your guides are with you? And I love that. So start getting into a practice where you take time out to be quiet and to be still and to listen for your inner wisdom, inner guidance. Stop relying on other people so much to tell you what to do. You already know what to do. You've already mapped out your entire life when you came here. You did, whether you believe that or not. But we all have free will. And we can choose to take a path that's different than what we mapped out for ourselves. And we do that when we stop listening to our inner guidance. When you take a wrong turn on your GPS, you'll still get there. You can still get back on track. It's just we make things more difficult for ourselves. All right, guys. Well, I am so glad that you joined me today. I wanted to pull a card for you before I ended the podcast. And the card that I pulled is from oh goodness, now I don't even have the deck in front of me. I just have the card. It's Doreen Virtue's cards. It's Healing with the Angels, I believe is what it's called. And what I got for you was spiritual growth. So right now you are up-leveling, which means that when we up-level, guess what? We get to go through all kinds of stuff that can sometimes cause us pain. And the reason we're going through those things is because we are learning. We are learning and growing, and sometimes that requires us to forgive others. Sometimes that requires us to look at ourselves and how we've behaved in situations and how we can do things better. It's all about reflecting internally and healing the inner stuff. You know, you cannot avoid the healing. I'm so sorry to tell you that. If you want to just take a pill and push a button and move on, it does not work that way. When you don't feel it, you can't heal it. And when we don't heal, we end up projecting our inner wounding onto other people and other situations in our lives. And we keep repeating the same patterns of behavior and cycles because we have not learned our lesson. And you can try to avoid it all you want. If you don't learn it in this lifetime, you will learn it in the next. You will take it with you. And I don't know about you, but I would like to take as little baggage as possible from this lifetime. So we have to heal it. We have to forgive those, even when we don't want to. We have to. And forgiveness is more about you. It's more about letting that person out of your energy field, not carrying around all of the anger and hurt feelings that you feel for that person or that situation. You know, we're all human. We really are. And when you look at it like that we all come with inner wounding, we all do things out of our own inner wounding. When you realize that, it gets so much easier to forgive people because you know they're just doing what they know. And when you know better, you do better. So you can't change someone else, but you can change yourself and you can work on yourself. And I say this all the time. When you work on shifting yourself, those around you shift as well. And it's hard to believe that, but it is absolutely true. I have seen some amazing things. People I never thought I would get apologies from, I got apologies from. So it's amazing what happens when you do the work. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you so much for being with me. As always, if you like this podcast, please share it with others. Please subscribe. Please leave me some reviews and stars. That helps others to find me, which is my ultimate goal. And I want to thank you so much for those of you who do that. When you get my message out and you are helping spread it, you are doing good out into the universe, and it's going to come back to you. It is. All that good energy you put out by sharing this message will come back to you in positive ways because you're helping others and you're helping me. And I want to thank you so much for that. Also, if you have not bought my book yet, Beautifully Broken, what are you waiting for? I'm just kidding. But actually, it's a book that I believe is going to help so many people. It's available in paperback right now and an ebook. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Goodreads. And very, very soon, it will also be available in audiobook. I finished recording the audiobook, and I have sent it to my publisher, so they are supposed to upload it pretty soon. Hopefully, that will be in just a few days, I would hope. I'm very proud of this book, and I hope that it will heal so many people. If you know someone who's gone through a divorce or a breakup, or even just who's going through a dark time in their lives, and it doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man, I believe this book is going to help everyone. It includes so many great tools, tips, and prayers, and I also use humor, so I think laughter is the best medicine. So get your copy today. If you bought a book and you want to win a free session with me, there are a couple of ways you can do that. I'm running a contest right now until March 14th. If you bought my book, take a picture of yourself with the book or the ebook. You can hold up your Kindle or iPhone or wherever you're reading the book and post on your social media about the book. And I will enter you in a contest to win a free session with me, and you can pick what session you want. The more you enter, the more you can win. So if you do Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, that would be 3 posts. That would be 3 entries. Also, you can win if you go to the review page. If you feel inclined to leave a review, I would so appreciate that. That's how the book gets noticed, is through the reviews. So the more reviews there are, the better. Same way with my podcast. The more people who review it, the more people find it. So if you have read my book and you like it, please leave me a review. I would so appreciate that. But if you show me that page, that you've gone to that page, I will also enter you in the contest. So there's so many ways to win. Who doesn't love free stuff, and especially a free healing session? All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for being with me. Don't forget to follow me on social media. All of my information is in the description to the podcast. Right now, my Love Your Life course is still on sale for $33. It's normally $88. It's a great deal, great time to get in on that. Also, all of my coaching sessions are 30% off right now. So if you'd like to work with me, go to my website where you can see what I offer. You can pay on my website, and then when you're ready to book, you can simply contact me and we will schedule your session so that you can get the best time available for you. All right, guys, I love you so much. I want to thank you for being here with me. As always, I am sending you so much love and light. Look around and notice all of the beautiful things around you today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.